Keyshawn Reed do the jump honors for Utah State. Nick Thompson for the Wolverines. We're in Orem, Utah, Utah Valley and Utah State. We're underway. Thanks for being with us. This one should be a lot of fun. Hunsaker up top. It's Jason Johnson, one of those transfers. And travel is the call.
Looked like they come out, try and run an isolation play for Jason Johnson. Very good defense there, one-on-one from Preston Medlin, forcing Jason into the travel. But we've seen typically for the Wolverines come out early, try and get it inside. Little different start to this one.
Aggies first touch, wide open look. Davis takes advantage of that.
And you see the help that the Wolverines are going to give. That ball, when it goes inside to Jared Shaw or Keyshawn Reed, it's going to be a double team from the guards coming down. They're going to have to hurry and rotate back out.
Phenomenal move by Fonz. Alfonso Hubbard, he goes by Fonz. He gets the and one. Foul's going to go against Butterfield.
See the replay here. This is what the Wolverines, when they play their best, this is the type of thing that they're doing. They're cutting off of screens. They're being active. They're not settling for outside jumpers. They're moving to the basket. And with Ben Aird, with Nick Thompson, and Alfonso Hubbard in the game, they may be very active in posting up early. And you like to see that aggression from Alfonso very early on. And watch the Wolverines pick up here, a little bit of 2-2-1 pressure here, trying to slow the Aggies down in the backcourt.
Does this surprise you any?
Not really. I think what would surprise me if the Wolverines get beat, they probably will pull out of that. But just trying to give something new, do a little bit different look. It's not something we've seen from the Wolverines this year.
Keyshawn Reed with it up top now to Davis. Just a minute gone here at the UCCU Center. Inside, easy for Shaw.
Yeah, that's going to be the Aggies' game right there. They're going to try and get Medlin coming off of screens. If they don't have an open shot, they'll try and work it around. Ben Aird a little bit late rotating around the top there on Jared Shaw.
Hunsaker. Well, he had 32 last Saturday. Off to a quick start now.
And we talked about it early on, Jim, in the pregame there. He's got to be the main guy. He's got to be the one that starts it for the Wolverines, and a great opening sign there.
Preston Medlin. Inside. Reed. Around Ben Aird that time.
I think a couple Wolverines got caught on a switch there. Holden Hunsaker ended up guarding Keyshawn Reed for just a moment and fell down. And Preston Medlin found him for the layup.
6-5, Utah State with a 1-point lead. Early first half. 12-second shot clock. There's a long three from Nick Thompson, the transfer from Oklahoma.
Really good patience there from UVU. They tried to get Holton coming off a double screen initially, but didn't force anything, worked the ball around, ended up in Nick's hands with a nice three.
Jared Shaw misses. Fonz with the rebound for UVU. UVU hasn't missed a shot yet. 3 of 3. Utah State 3 of 4 here in the early going. He'll take the three. Big man. Ben Aird missed that one, though. He's been known to put him up and make them. Medlin trying to work it over to the right side, out of bounds, trying to find Butterfield. Turnover Utah State there first.
And this is something we might see throughout the game. On that play, Holden Hunsaker and Nick Thompson switched on a high pick and roll. With how good of shooters Utah State has, we may see that more often, see switching from the perimeter players. And you see the Aggies here now going to a zone with the Wolverines being coming off of such a hot start. They're in a 3-2 zone.
Both teams now 3 of 4 from the floor. I jinxed the Wolverines last time down. Jumper for 3.
Against the zone, Jim, if you're patient and you move the ball and you don't turn it over, you can get great shots. And what a start for the Wolverines shooting the ball tonight. They've got a lot of confidence with them right now.
6-0 run right now for the Wolverines. Butterfield for 3. Cuts the Wolverines' lead to 2 with 4 minutes gone in this one.
Yeah, and he's the best three-point shooter for the Aggies, about 45% on the year. So a little bit of a breakdown defensively there, letting him get that open.
Another travel called. Kind of unusual to see Holton Hunsaker posting up inside. Brings us to our first media timeout. Utah Valley with a 2-point lead early here at the UCCU Center. Utah State, for those watching around the world on UVU TV, that's not that far from here, 122 miles. It really takes about an hour and a half the way Matt drives. Founded in 1888, contrary to popular belief. I was not there at the time. Enrollment 26 and change, blue and white, which a little bit of consternation about that blue and white in this state. So another team around here has blue and white as well. 11-9. UVU at home with a 2-point lead early. Utah State. Medlin. We're tied.
Nice job Preston Medlin there coming off of the screen. Didn't fade to the three-point line. Kept it a tight screen and kept just rounding that screen going to the basket.
Talk about spreading it around. All 5 starters for Utah State have scored already. 3 for UVU. Hubbard drives in and 1 again. Fonz drawing another foul on Butterfield.
That was very similar to the action that we just saw from the Aggies. Almost overload one side, give a lot of space to Alfonso coming off of that handoff, and a nice job of absorbing the contact, going up and finishing the play and getting to the line.
Butterfield takes a seat. Still got 15 minutes here in the first half. Picks up his second foul. Marvin Jean replaces him in Utah State's lineup. Fonz, free throw, good. Second time that Fonz is connected on the and 1. Fonz, the leading scorer in the game, with 6 points. UVU with a 3-point lead, 5 minutes deep. Preston Medlin, wide open though, is Davis. Tipped out, JJ's got it. Jason Johnson hesitates, now drives and travels. Second turnover for Utah Valley.
I like the aggression, but I think he was trying to do a little bit too much there. Got a little bit too aggressive. Maybe better in that instance to pull it out, run a set. You're getting great shots on offense.
Medlin outside, won't go. Rebound to Reed. He lost the handle, and Fonz picks it up for UVU. Hunsaker take an NBA 3. Back rim a little too hard. You know, you've got the white stripe is actually the NBA 3. The old developmental team for the NBA used to play here. The NCAA 3 is that line. Inside it goes, though. Shot won't go down for Jared Shaw, and UVU with a defensive rebound. Fonz misses that one. So after starting 3 of 3, Utah Valley now 5 of 8.
Both teams cooling off a little bit. Defense is getting a little bit more comfortable.
Well, Utah State's 5 of 9, so both teams right at 50-55%. Shaw backing against Ben. Ben aired and gets the hook down.
We've seen a little bit of 2 defensive types. We've seen on that last possession, the Wolverines didn't send anybody over to double Jared Shaw and makes the layup. We've seen also a little bit earlier a double team, so see how the Wolverines approach that, what they're going to do.
Fonz working inside. That one looked like it was blocked up high. Somebody got him with the body down low. Fonz will shoot 2. That one's going to be called against Marvin Jean, the player who came in to replace Butterfield after Butterfield picked up his second foul.
We know how good of a post player Alfonso is when he gets down there, and that's a textbook move there. Make a move to the inside, pump fake, get the defender up in the air, and kind of swing through and go immediately up, and the defender had no choice but to foul in that instance.
Hubbard's perfect from the stripe thus far here in the early going, 3 of 3. He's got 7 points overall. Just a 2-point lead for UVU right now. Make it 3.
I like what the Wolverines are doing offensively. We've seen so far that if they're patient, they don't turn the ball over, which they haven't done. They do have 3 turnovers, but when they don't turn the basketball over, they can get great shots on offense.
Reed on the baseline, working against Thompson. Kicks it out, wide open look for 3. Tanale Rowland.
That's the trouble defensively when you have really good post players. When that ball goes inside, sometimes you have to double, you have to have help from guards coming down, leaves players on the 3-point line open, and Utah State has knocked down some early threes on late rotations from UVU.
Antoine Hosley misses inside for UVU. Utah State with it. Shaw, up top it goes now to Rowland, looks to the bench, gets the directions from Stu Morrill. 12 minutes and change left here in this first half. Up top, Rowland won't go. Wolverines pick it up. 4 on 3. Hubbard got it.
That's a great read there from Nick Thompson. He didn't force anything. He could have tried to take that ball to the basket. He realized he had almost a 4 on 2. Great patience pulling up at the 3. Alfonso spotted up. Great job of hitting the 3.
Hosley, one of the quickest players on the team, went for the steal, didn't get it, driving through the lane, dishing off outside to Butterfield. Now up top it goes to Reed. Jumper's good from there.
I think UVU will live with what they've done defensively. The Aggies have hit a lot of outside shots. I think that's probably what they would prefer versus the Aggies getting inside. And here we see this zone again for the Aggies, almost kind of like a 3-2 zone.
Both feet inside to Fonz. Nick Thompson. 10 seconds shot clock. Left side. Hunsaker, another long 3. Fonz with a rebound, slapped away, and Utah State picks it up.
Great shot, though. That was a good defensive possession from the Aggies, but a shot that Holton had to take with the shot clock winding down. They did a nice job of working the ball around, though.
Driving in, reverse layup. Very nice job from Tanale Rowland, rather. Utah State now with a 1-point lead. Under 10 and a half to play. So the teams head to the locker rooms. Fonz, you can just tell. And another and 1. That's 3 already.
This is some of the best basketball I've seen him play in the last couple of years here. You're right, he's just being very aggressive, taking advantages of the space in the zone and creating his own offense.
Alfonso Hubbard already 13 points. UVU with a 1-point lead. Back in a minute. Utah Valley with a 1-point lead. You see Danny Berger there for Utah State. What a story about Danny. 10, 11 days ago, he collapsed up in Logan at practice. His heart actually stopped. Some people are saying it's a heart attack. Some people really just don't know. He had a defibrillator installed in his chest so that doesn't happen again. He is wearing his sweats, but he is not going to play.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he'll play again this year, to be honest with you.
We were talking to someone before the game, and they were mentioning likely not this year, probably going to be coming back, but what an amazing story when he does come back, and what an amazing story it was, his situation, all the help that he got from the training staff.
Yeah.
Just incredible response that took place, and great job to everybody that was involved in that, and literally saving his life.
Yeah, we all wish Danny a recovery. In fact, there are signs here hung by the students at Utah Valley wishing him a speedy recovery as well. Danny Berger had started their first 5 games.
And UVU now going to a zone.
2-point lead for the Wolverines. Rowland misses. Big man inside, fighting for the rebound. That's Matt Lopez. Matt Lopez, first action he has seen as a Utah State Aggie, transferred from LaSalle. He was ineligible during the first semester, final exams were this week, I think. So as soon as exams are over, technically, as far as the NCAA is concerned, that's when the second semester starts. So he is now eligible as of tonight. Big boy, 6'11", 250 pounds.
On that last possession when the Wolverines went to his zone, they're back in the man now. There is one thing that really hurts his zone defense, and that's offensive rebounds. Get a travel here.
That was Lopez. I'm not sure he was expecting that pass that fast. And you got to figure Matt Lopez is rusty. He hasn't played in a real game in a year.
Yeah, it's probably kind of tough. They're working him back into the system here, working him back into his groove. Probably don't expect him to play a lot, but we'll see how it plays out.
Mosley, Hunsaker, Hubbard, Jones, and Brown now on the floor for Utah Valley. A couple of their starters getting some time on the bench. 9.5 to play first half. Fonz has the hot hand. He's got 14 points. Lost it inside. Turnover Wolverines. Their 5th here of the first half. Utah State looking to take the lead with a 2. It's Lopez. Dishing off to Clifford. We're tied at 22.
Yeah, Wolverines gone to a little bit smaller lineup here, and clearly some miscommunication on the backside. You see after the layup made, Holden Hunsaker and Alfonso Hubbard looking at each other. A late rotation or a miscommunication on the inside.
UVU's Coach Dick Hunsaker taking that timeout. Wants to talk to his squad about what to do with this big guy inside in the form of Matt Lopez. They list him at 6'11", 250. I'm not so sure he's not bigger than that. A reminder that our next broadcast will come your way next week on Wednesday night, as the men's basketball team will be entertaining Troy University, 7 o'clock tip here at the UCCU Center. It's the same Troy that the Wolverines beat last Saturday in double overtime in Troy, Alabama. Probably one of the most exciting games I have seen the Wolverines play. So we'll see how they do on Wednesday here on UVU TV.
And you see now the Aggies kind of doing what the Wolverines did a little bit earlier, giving some full court pressure, a 2-2-1 it looked like, and then they just fall back into this zone. Look at this for the Aggies here. That space in the middle where Zach just went and flashed, that's a lot of room, a lot of space and opportunities there for the Wolverines.
Zach Jones has it, kicks it out, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Holton, he has taken some threes from way outside. Nick Thompson, inside though, gets a little jumper to go.
Just as we said on the other end, the thing that kills a zone defense is giving up offensive rebounds, and great job there tapping the ball out. I think it was Zach Jones that got the tap out, and Nick Thompson with the finish.
Lopez, turnaround jump hook off the glass, won't go. Tipped out, foul inside on that tip though. Going to go against UVU. This is the first foul called against UVU, and it comes with, 8:14 left here in the first half.
See the replay here. Nick Thompson on the backside there, a little bit too far under the rim. I think the foul was committed out of the picture there. But, yeah, a good point by you, Jim. Only one foul, 12 minutes into the game. That shows that that the Wolverines are playing some good, solid defense. They're in proper position. They don't have to foul. They've been in great position defensively.
And it's not like Utah State's fouling a lot either. No. They've only been called for 4, so thank goodness they're letting them play. Marvin Jean ties it at 24.
Once again, this full court pressure. We saw it broken easily last time. Look for those diagonal passes, and then the Aggies are going to fall back. So let's see, the Wolverines kind of hit a little bit of a lull offensively with this zone. They've taken a couple long three-point shots at the end of the buzzer, at the end of the shot clock. They've got to be a little bit more active offensively.
Jason Johnson and Holton Hunsaker on the bench getting a breather right now for the Wolverines. 6 seconds on the shot clock. JJ dishes off. Jumper outside for 3 will not go for Nick Thompson. And Utah State with a rebound. Preston Medlin. We're tied at 24. 7 and change left here at the UCCU Center for Orem, Utah. Where UVU has not lost this year, even though they've only played 2 home games, but still sounds good when you say, hey, they haven't lost at home. Meanwhile, Utah State hasn't lost on the road. They've only played 1 road game. Okay, there's Matt Lopez. First points as a Aggie.
That play was just broken down. I believe it was to Neil Rowland that came off of a double screen, drove in. Defenders had to rotate over and left Matt Lopez wide open for the dunk. Very nice offensive possession, and Wolverines going to get a shot here in the corner.
Jason Johnson can't get it to go. Ball goes off a couple of Wolverines right into the hands of Coach Stu Morrill. So that brings us to another immediate timeout. Utah Valley down by 2 to Utah State. We'll take a break, coming back in 60.
See the replay here. To Neil Rowland, going to be coming off of the double screen. Ben Aird forced to come over and give help. And a nice dish off and a dunk finish for Matt Lopez.
That's the way you used to do it, wasn't it, partner?
The pass, yes, not the dunk.
Oh, come on, come on. You could do those rim rattlers, couldn't you?
Maybe off a trampoline when they were before the season. I could do the pass, like I said.
Wolverines down by 2. It's the largest lead for Utah State here in the first half. Pretty good first half. Rowland wanted it, now he takes it. Ben Aird with the rebound. UVU's got their starting 5 back out there now. Hubbard guarded closely by Reed. Alfonso Hubbard, 14 points already. Hubbard's career high is 19. He's got 14 already.
Yeah, he's played very well. You see a lot of the offense here for the Wolverines off of the long three-point shot.
Jason Johnson. Wolverines back out in front.
I was going to mention that a lot of their offense has now become more perimeter-oriented. They haven't been able to get that ball inside as they did early on. So maybe that's what they're trying to do, but it would be nice to see them get some sort of an inside presence.
Jean for 3, missed it. Rebound fought for Jared Shaw. Ben Aird along with Nick Thompson fighting for it. They're going to call Nick Thompson of UVU for the foul. He's not happy about that. Second personal foul against Nick. He's got both of UVU's fouls here in the first half. That'll put him to the bench. UVU nursing a 1-point lead, coming up on 5 minutes left here in the first half. Turnover, Utah State, their 3rd of the first half.
Now the Aggies are getting a lot of opportunities coming off of screens, because the Wolverines are a little bit behind coming off of those screens and able to pass, whether it be just a short pass or a long pass to open teammates on the perimeter. But a nice job there rotating from Taylor Brown.
Hubbard draws a little hand check foul from Keyshawn Reed. Right now, Hubbard, just as you mentioned earlier, playing an amazing game. He's wearing that headband not for style, but to protect a wound that he suffered against Weber State. He had 10 stitches above his right eye.
We saw Holton Hunsaker play really well when he had stitches in his eye and wearing a headband. Maybe that's what all the Wolverines should do.
Get stitches or just wear headbands?
Wear headbands.
Okay.
I don't,
wanted to clarify.
Yeah, wear the headband. Stitches are not advisable.
Hunsaker with a hand in his face. Holton Hunsaker gets his 7th point here in the first half. Utah Valley up by 3 again.
Yeah, really tough shot there from Holton. Stopped on a dime, able to knock it down.
Long 3 outside, no. Ben Aird with a rebound. Ben Aird has just 2 rebounds. Interestingly enough, Ben Aird, the only starter for UVU, hasn't scored yet. He's their leading scorer on the season. But when Hubbard's playing the way he has, you don't need him. Here's another 3 from JJ. Oh, home sweet home for Jason Johnson.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job of working without the basketball. Earlier in the shot clock, he tried penetrating, didn't get it, kicked it out, kept moving, kept working, found an open shot on the 3. He's done a great job working without the ball.
6 points for Jason Johnson. Turnaround jumper. Wow, that was pretty far out for one of those little shots from Jared Shaw. He got it to go.
Really tough jump shot. Ben Aird did a nice job of contesting on that. I don't know if he was expecting the shot from that far out, but a nice shot there from Jared Hall. Wolverines narrowly avoid the 10-second backcourt rule there.
Holton Hunsaker directs traffic for the Wolverines. Dishes off Hubbard, shot blocked. That time by Reed. Utah State on the run. Davis turns it over. Jason Johnson's got it. 2 on 3. Out to Taylor Brown. Jumper for 3. Hubbard missed from the corner. Hubbard now 4 of 7 shooting. 1 of 2 from beyond the arc. Coming up in 3 minutes. First half, Wolverines by 4. Inside, they'll give it to Utah State. Just touched by a Wolverine last on the way out. 32-28. Wolverines by 4 here at the UCCU Center. Coming up at halftime here on UVU TV, we'll be talking to Wolverine Athletic Director Mike Jacobson. He'll join us to talk about UVU's jump to the Western Athletic Conference. And of course, we'll have stats and, as always, Matt Peterson's insightful insights into the first half, along with highlights. Insightful insights?
That was great. That's putting a lot of pressure on me to come up with something really good at halftime.
Yeah, if you need to study, I'll give you some time.
I might need to.
Utah State basketball, they still got 20 on the shot clock on the inbounds play. 3 minutes left here, first half. Medlin, long 2.
I was just going to mention, I don't know how many shots that's been long 2s that the Aggies have hit, probably 4 or 5. Wolverines are struggling, chasing around the perimeter players for the Aggies, and they're getting a lot of shots and a lot of opportunities.
Ben Aird cannot get a shot to go. For Ben, that only his second field goal attempt here in the first half. He's still scoreless. Utah State looks to tie with a 2. Reed takes care of that.
Really tough shot there. Obviously got an opportunity to go to his left, which is the hand that he shoots with, but a tough finish there, falling away from the basket.
Reed's got 6. 3 Aggie players with 6 points each to lead the scoring attack. Jason Johnson cut off on his drive. Under 2 minutes to play, first half now. Wolverines just passing it around. Great ball movement. JJ can't get the shot to go. Utah State with a rebound. Davis slapped away from him. It'll still be Aggie basketball. Tried to blow around Holton Hunsaker.
See the replay here. This is a very common action for the Aggies. A screen, a high screen on the ball, that time from Jared Shaw. Just trying to get Davis some momentum going to the basket.
Driving in. Davis gives Utah State a 2-point lead. Matches their largest here in the first half. Utah Valley is led by as many as 6. Coach Dick Hunsaker very upset with the way his team allowed Davis in there so wide open for that shot.
Yeah, I think he's a little upset with how they're defending the picks on the ball and how they're guarding the pick and the roll, as we see here. And Davis with a nice finish there. Ben the only man in the middle there, but as I said, I think he's a little bit upset with how the Wolverines are defending those picks on the ball and how easy the perimeter players are getting inside. You know, that's a breakdown because it forces your big men to come off of the other, the Aggies' big men, and gives opportunities for, easy passes and layups, which we have seen. 18
points in the paint for Utah State. Look at the shooting percentages here, Matt, on the computers in front of us. 61% for Utah State, just 48% for Utah Valley.
Yeah, and Utah Valley on the year shoots 45% from the field and 32% from the three-point line. So they're above their season averages, but the problem is the Aggies shoot close to 39% from the field, and tonight they're 62%. Typically, they've been a very good shooting team and doing a great job in the first half tonight.
It will remain Utah Valley basketball. A couple of officials looking at each other on that one. I'm not sure either one had a real clear look at it, but one of them was adamant enough that it belonged to Utah Valley, so it does. 19 seconds on the shot clock for the Wolverines.
And this last minute 15 critical for the Wolverines because the Aggies have put together a pretty good run here. Wolverines need to close out strong.
Hunsaker splits the defense, can't get the shot to go. Thought he was fouled. No call. Jared Shaw with the rebound. Inside it goes. Reed that time went up for it. Hit pretty hard. Foul going to be called against Jason Johnson of Utah Valley.
This is what happens when your point guard misses a layup. He's usually the one that's always back defending in transition, and with Holton not able to convert, had a hard time getting back. Consequently, the entire Wolverine team had a tough time getting back, and Reed wide open in the post.
It's a 9-0 run right now for Utah State. They trailed by 6 after an 8-0 run by UVU. Now they've come back with a 9-0 run of their own.
And I think going back to what we said in the pregame, one of the keys for UVU was going to be control the pace. And I think in this last 3 minutes when this run has taken place, Utah State has been the one to control the pace.
That time at least one Wolverine was in the lane too early. So that free throw will not go in the record books as Reed will have another chance at it. Just under a minute to play here, first half. UVU down by 3. Reed's got 7 points. He is the leading scorer for the Aggies here in the first half. Hasn't missed a shot from the floor, hasn't missed a free throw either. It's a 10-0 run. Antoine Hosley over to Fonz. Fairly quiet the last few minutes. Joined us late. Alfonso Hubbard already 14 points. Back it in. Jump hook won't go. Utah State with the rebound. Shot clock's off. Coach Stu Morrill holds up one finger. Aggies will go for the last shot. Unless that's a play that just happens to be number 1. I don't know.
Yeah, likely to be the last shot. Look for them to work this ball around maybe at the last minute, get one of their bigs to come up, set a screen, try and get Marcel Davis going to the basket. You're going to see Jared Shaw coming up to set that screen.
4 seconds. Shot won't go. Hunsaker at the buzzer, lets one fly and hits the shot clock above the basket. So we'll send the teams to the locker rooms with Utah State having scored the last 10 points of that first half. It was a very interesting first half, Matt. Wolverines jumped out in front by 5 when it was 11-6. Utah State fought back, tied it up. Wolverines jump ahead. Utah State comes back, scores the last 10.
Yeah, I think that run really hurt them.